Hey, to anybody listening, this is Brewing with Company, a talk show / podcast or whatever the hell you want to call it, where a couple of average Joes drink a cup of Joe and talk about pop culture and video game. Enjoy. Well, real quick, I wanted to do kind of like a smaller episode real quick because, in my opinion, and I want to ask you guys the same thing, this week, espresso. The, in my opinion, greatest shadow drop in video game history happened this week. And Bethesda, it was also the worst kept secret in video game history. Everybody knew. However, I did not believe any of the rumors that it was going to be a day one drop because I was like, there's no way any studio ever does that. As glorious as that would be, there's no way they're going to do it. They're not going to drop, reveal, and distribute same day. It's going to be at least a week, and even that would be incredible. And lo and behold, Todd Howard comes out and is like, hey, by the way, it's available as I'm speaking. Go get it. And I that's the first time in my life I've ever heard an advertisement say, it's out now. And I'm able to literally get my phone as I'm watching the YouTube video and be like, holy shit, like I'm buying it right now.
Yeah.
You two are probably the biggest Bethesda fans I know, let alone Elder Scrolls fans I know.
Absolutely.
I put 4 hours into it so far, and it's throwing me back. I haven't played Oblivion in
20
probably at least 15 to 18 years. Close to it anyways. I haven't played Oblivion in a long time, and it was I only played it for 4 hours because I'm playing the crap out of Expedition 33 right now. Absolute masterpiece, but we'll talk about that later. I did it to scratch a nostalgia itch, and boy, it did it. It did it really, really well. But I definitely want to hear you guys talk about it for sure.
Yeah, that was kind of when you text me, because I was at work, dude, and seeing that text come through, I was like, nah, there's no way. This guy's lying. He's going to make me pull out my phone and
listen, I don't lie about the Elder Scrolls, all right? If the second Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, I promise you.
Yeah, I'm going to believe you, man.
I will text you ass naked with just Elder Scrolls covering my junk.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Oh no.
No, I was in shock, and then we kind of touched upon this on the earlier episodes. Like, we all miss the midnight game launches and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go completely 180, which I do miss. I miss them crazy, but I'm so thankful that it dropped on a time that you can pull out your phone, be like, oh shit, this is real. Buy it, download it to your console when you're not even in your house, and then by the time you get home, you're scratching. Because what consoles was it? It was the 360, right? Generation.
The PS2.
2009? No, sorry, 2006? Yeah.
I played Oblivion on the PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it was on the PS3 as well, but it had a PS2 drop.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I don't know why, and I'm not going to go back into it, because I remember having a 360. Was it on the 360 or was it on the Xbox?
Yeah, it was on the 360.
Yeah. It came out in 2006. I don't know if it was a launch title for the 360, but it was in the same year.
It must have been, yeah. Or at least close. I don't know. Well, because I remember playing it on the 360 way back, like, I want to say my sophomore.
Okay, so Oblivion was released November 22nd, 2005 as an Xbox 360 launch title and the PC. I could have sworn I played this on the PlayStation 2.
2005?
Am I wrong?
Wow.
Yeah.
2005? I was in...
No, see, that doesn't make sense. I thought it was 2006.
Oh yeah, well, I remember playing it in 2006. I was playing
Oh, sorry. Delays pushed it back to March 20th of 2006. So it came out in March of 2006.
All right, it makes me feel a little bit better because I was like, hold on a second. Yeah, because I was a freshman year in high school, and I remember as soon as swim practice was over, I was at home playing Oblivion, and just the trailer for it, the voice acting for everything just seems like they put so much. Sorry, my cat. Oh,
I saw that go down. Is that considered a hate crime?
Oh my god! Oh no, he's black too. Jeez. Okay, sorry about that. Why'd you scratch me like that,
I
man?
literally saw that mid sentence, and I saw those claws go into you, dude. Your face said it all, bro.
Man. Yeah, no, oh my gosh, like I felt like as soon as it finished downloading, like the little Oblivion thing came up, and I felt like I was how old was I? 14 years old again. And I was so happy when they dropped it and it was only what was it, $40?
$50.
$50, yeah.
$50.
It was $50. They could have easily put this at
Full price.
$60, at $70,
Easy.
at $65 and $70, and they still would have made a great profit off of it. But I have so much respect for Bethesda that they did that oh my goodness, that they did it like this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just I know we've talked about corporate greed and all that stuff like that so much, but this just felt like such a love letter to the fans that I don't know, that touched me right there, and I would have the same amount of respect for Rockstar, for example, if they also shadow drop and say that, or maybe not shadow drop like to this extent, but like you were saying, in a week, like they'll announce it and then a week later, like that'll come out. But if it comes out like $70, I'll be like, mad respect. But this right here, going back to Cyrodiil.
Oh, dude, the nostalgia.
Oh my god.
The nostalgia got me so good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is a huge PR win for Bethesda, I think. And I think this is a huge PR win for Microsoft. Even though I'm playing this on a PlayStation 5, I think, dude, it's crazy how is Xbox still in last place? Yes, but they're doing some good things. Like it's not as a console. I think I'm foot down on that. I think console Xbox is dead. But Microsoft is like, hey, here's the shadow drop of Oblivion, and don't worry, we'll give you guys about 2 or 3 weeks to play Oblivion and Expedition 33, and then we'll see you for Doom: The Dark Ages. It's like, okay, like PlayStation, what do you got? Here, let's we need to shadow drop a Ghost of Yote trailer right now because this is all we have. So it's like, I personally think this absolutely is the greatest shadow drop in video game history because of the PR respect and absolute W this is for Bethesda as a studios who's been getting a lot of flack from Starfield, their marketing campaigns, and then of course rumors in the bank that they're going to do the same thing with Fallout 3. Dude, if they give this coat of paint to Fallout 3 and do a day one drop just like they did Oblivion, to do it double down, Bethesda has the W for the year. I think it's like
pay my car off until June.
Dude, that's to do that kind of love to your audience by basically going, hey, look, we know you want Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way I could give it to you right now, but this is the closest thing I can do. You take what is, in my opinion, I'm going to say some ballsy shit, and maybe I'm wrong to you too. I think Oblivion's better than Skyrim.
I agree.
I love the story more than the gameplay. I know Skyrim has a much better gameplay outlet. I totally agree with that.
I have more hours in Skyrim than I do Oblivion, but I will just say, objectively speaking, Oblivion is a better game than Skyrim is. It's a better RPG than Skyrim is.
What do you got, Paul? Are we thinking Skyrim's number one?
Yeah, I gotta go with Skyrim, man.
I'm going Morrowind,
dude.
Hey, listen! I got 3 deployments worth of Skyrim hours. You can look and see how much hours I have in Skyrim. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I will say, Oblivion. Or maybe that's just the nostalgia in me, because that was like one of my first forays into like Bethesda and everything, because I went back and played played Morrowind after playing Oblivion and Skyrim. So I don't know. It's just,
what if they do this with Morrowind?
That would be cool.
I think everybody would lose their freaking minds, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do this with
Or-
Morrowind,
If they do this with Morrowind and they do this with Fallout 3, at this point, I'd be like, how come these people weren't working on Elder Scrolls 6?
I think, well, because it's Virtuous. Virtuous Studios in partnership with Bethesda is the one that did it. Bethesda just marketed it by not marketing it, which is nuts, and which was actually one of the smarter things I think they've ever done.
Yeah.
All these leaks were so true, which is crazy, by the way. They're almost never 100% true, but every single leak was 110,000% true. And I think they just fueled it. They were just like, yeah, we're just not going to market it. Well, let's let the leaks do the marketing for us. And I think it was so successful on this shadow drop. I think it was so smart.
You think they'll do
Fallout 3?
Yeah, they'll be able to do the same marketing strategy again?
Dude, I think if they're successful with both, you see an upgrade like this for Skyrim as like the last Skyrim, but it's successful. I think it'll work great. Work wonders.
What about, if they re-release Skyrim again, I would be like, please don't.
Make it a $10 upgrade because they've taken enough earnings from the last two that they could afford it. I think you'd have a genius idea on your hands.
There you go. Do you think? Have you guys ever heard of the mod that was been
Sky
working
Oblivion.
on for? Yeah, Sky Oblivion.
I've been following it for years.
Yeah. Do you think? So Sky Oblivion. Basically, long story short, like a bunch of very talented modders were trying to bring, was it just Cyrodiil or was it all the other provinces?
It's just Oblivion as a story. They're
just
recreating Oblivion in Skyrim's engine.
In Skyrim's engine, and you would be able to play as Oblivion in Skyrim, and people were going to be like, and for years people were like, oh, this is going to be amazing and stuff, and then this happens, and now people are saying, oh, is there going to be like a kind of opposite thing now? Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Like you can play. When you mean you flip it, that you can play Skyrim in Oblivion?
Yeah, like they'll bring the province of Skyrim into Oblivion remastered, like as a mod or as DLC or something like that.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. That would. I think. I mean, I'm so impressed with Bethesda right now, just with everything, with the Fallout show, with I didn't believe the leaks that they were going to do a remastered. Because I've been listening to the leaks of Elder Scrolls 6 for how many years now? What are we going on? I thought it was going to come out with the
long game. Oh, is this a long game? I swear, if Elder Scrolls 6 and Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year,
they're gonna do.
I will not have pants on for the rest of the year.
That would be absolutely insane. I don't think I can comprehend Elder Scrolls 6 and GTA 6 in the same year, but either way.
Well, I mean, actually, I thought they were going to come out this year. Well, GTA 6, I think will. But do you think if you're Bethesda, you wait for the next generation?
I would. 100%.
Because we're what, a year, maybe 2
year and a half away. Yeah,
we're about a year and a half to 2 years.
I would at least drop a trailer. What if they drop a trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 at the end of the year after Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out?
I think it'll drop. I genuinely do. Like, I'm like 75% sure because of this Oblivion remake. They drop a trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 at FGS at Summer Games Fest. Yeah, SGF.
We thought this last year though too.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was just like every year we try to find the festival what game is going to be at, right? Whereas Rockstar, you'll never get that because nobody's going to buy them to do GTA 6 festival. Right. If you see GTA 6 at Summer Games Fest, somebody's got deep pockets. That's insane. Rockstar has their own marketing campaign. They do their own thing. But I could see Todd Howard coming out at Summer Games Fest and being like, you all loved the Oblivion remastered, and we greatly appreciate that. So we're here to give you something more. And they either drop a trailer for the Fallout 3 remaster or it's Elder Scrolls 6. It won't be a full gameplay with a release date. No. It'll be a release year, and it'll say 2027. That's my prediction.
It makes more sense then for them to remaster Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And drop that in that gap between
to get us excited.
Waiting for the next generation.
I think next year is the 15th anniversary of Fallout 3. So that they do this year, and then next year they do Fallout 3. You're filling some gaps and giving Bethesda money.
because it makes sense. It makes sense because of the backlash that they've been getting the last couple of years for Starfield. They don't want to drop an Elder Scrolls 6 trailer or anything like that off the coattails of the hatred that don't be wrong. I know I give Starfield a lot of crap, but like it's not a terrible game. It's just not good enough. It's not good
Bethesda.
enough. Yeah, it's not good enough. So so they don't want to have that be your last memory, your last interaction with Bethesda Game Studios. They want you to think, "Oh, we just played Oblivion. We just played Fallout 3. Yay,
exactly
that was so much great." And now they're going to give us Elder Scrolls 6. Yay! Instead of 4 years ago they gave us Starfield, and 3 years ago they gave us Shattered Space, which I didn't even finish playing. And it's like I don't really care because remember a year ago I said I was like I'm nervous about Elder Scrolls 6, and now I'm like maybe they do care. So I don't know. Is it manipulative? Sure, but it's working. So
it's a good manipulation because I'm on board.
Yeah, and I think they actually learned some lessons with Starfield because
100%.
They burnt a lot of people. Like, I agree with you. It's not terrible. It didn't keep me engaged. Like, I had a couple of moments of running to different planets and like, oh, this is not bad. I was more impressed with the Steam Deck. The fact that I could run that game, the size of the game, and everything can run it smoothly.
That's such an amazing piece of hardware,
dude. I was so impressed that I could do that.
You put Starfield on your Steam Deck?
Yep.
Dude, it plays Cyberpunk 77 as well.
Dude, I know it played Cyberpunk. I didn't know it played Starfield.
Yeah, I've played it on my Steam Deck.
That piece of machinery is incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Even though
I didn't even try. I didn't even try to put Starfield on there.
I never would have.
That's what I mean. Like, it's crazy that the biggest shout out for Starfield for me was that the Steam Deck is awesome. Not the game, the Steam Deck's cool.
Yeah.
So that was. I think you guys are right. I think you drop Oblivion this year. You drop Fallout 3 remastered. I don't think you can do a Skyrim again. I think at that point you piss off the fans again because I mean I bought.
It'd have to be cheap. It would have to be like a $10 upgrade.
Yeah.
That's the only way anybody would be satisfied. Because I would pay for that. Straight up. I would pay for a $10 Skyrim that looks like the current Oblivion remaster. Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would do that. But not much more than that. And that's
how many
only because you gave me Oblivion first. If you had done it with Skyrim, then I'd be like, what the fuck, dude. Here's my question to both of you. I'd have to do some research on how this could legally be possible. But do you think Bethesda, because they own Fallout as a property, right?
Yes.
Do you think Bethesda has to get permission from Obsidian, and instead of Fallout 3, they do New Vegas?
I looked this up once.
Do they even need the permission from Obsidian to do that? They own Fallout as a property, and that includes New Vegas.
Obsidian is not around anymore, right?
No, they are. They're making Outer Worlds.
Obsidian's around. Okay, so I was thinking of Monolith. Right. Okay,
R.I.P.
so
R.I.P.
Yeah, right. I think because I was thinking to myself because they mentioned things that only happened in New Vegas in the Fallout TV show, right? So I would think that they do have the permission or the rights to do whatever the hell they want.
Shadow drop it with season 2, bro. You've got this is marketing gold. You do a shadow drop where you do a exactly what you did with Oblivion. You have a Fallout New Vegas remaster. You have my attention.
You have
beyond belief. Dude, you big time. And even at the $50 price, like, good grief, you have my money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, dude, I'd have that ordered the second it released and downloaded because, that's smart. I think you're right. I think coincided with season 2. That will give you your gap filler till Elder Scrolls 6 for the next generation.
And that's why my prediction is 2027 for Elder Scrolls. And they get ballsy, and instead of doing a holiday or an October release, they do a March to June timeframe.
That would be good.
Well, that's when
March 2027. Well, March 2027, Elder Scrolls 6 drops.
And why compete with? I don't know the two different games, but why compete with GTA 6?
Nobody should.
That's what. Yeah, everyone's
There's
waiting
no-
for.
I'm amazed Ghost of Yote is even
Trying.
giving it a shot. I think it's because PlayStation's a little desperate right now. I think PlayStation, as their first party, need a game to come out on the PS5 bad, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 being your only PS5 exclusive is a freaking problem. Well, and of course Ratchet and Clank and Astrobot. I get all that, but I'm just saying from your big first party studios, you only have Insomniac. You need Sucker Punch and you need Naughty Dog to come out swinging. Obviously, Intergalactic's not going to come out this year, and I actually believe Intergalactic doesn't come out next year either. I think it's a 2027 release as well. But I think the Oblivion remaster is like an early warning sign that we're actually closer to Elder Scrolls 6 than we think. But I'm not going to sit here and act like it's soon.
Right. It's a couple of years away.
It's like an 8-year development cycle, though, dude.
That's a long. Well, and I mean, you've brought this up before, and it's a really good point, and I'm just going to bring it up because of the hell of it. But I love my PlayStation 5. The fantastic console, fantastic, software, everything about that. I love it. They've let us down.
They have
100%.
Yeah.
They didn't give us Wolverine yet. I just looked up when Wolverine's coming out.
Yep. Microsoft is helping me more with my PlayStation than PlayStation is. I'm playing Oblivion remastered on my PS5.
You said that, and it didn't register to me until you said I'm playing it on my PlayStation like 20 minutes ago, and I was like, oh my god, that's right. I forgot that they put it on the PlayStation. Yeah.
PlayStation has the balls to just let Microsoft keep feeding them their money right now, but it's gonna make a big turnaround if they don't figure it out. And to Xbox credit, it's Game Pass day one. It was shadow dropped at 11 a.m. to purchase, and it was on Game Pass. This is probably one of the greatest quick marketing campaigns you could ever, at least that I can think of. And the closest one I can think of is, crazily enough, Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was a 30-day shadow drop. It came out like a month later. Something like that. Yeah, it was like May, and they were like June something. I think it came out in June. I can't remember. That was impressive for the time, especially because the PS4 and the Xbox One were brand new at the time, and it was like, here's a great way to shadow drop this. This was smart. I think this was absolutely genius.
4 million players. That's their news as of yesterday. 4 million players playing crazy. Oblivion remastered.
Is that just Steam?
That's just Steam.
Wow. At least. Good grief, dude. Like, I bet you this sold 7 million copies by the end of it.
Probably more.
Which for a remaster is impressive, dude.
Right. Even with their body type changes.
Hey, bro. I've only put 4 hours into it, which 4 hours may sound like a lot to casual gamers, but in an Elder Scrolls game, that's not even scratching the surface. You spend the first hour and a half.
You created your player.
The first hour and a half of this game is in a jail cell and some dungeons, that's if you're rushing through it.
Yeah, I just got through that bit.
But dude, I immediately rushed to the first Oblivion gate. Yeah, right before you meet Martin. Yeah, and my nostalgia and the artistic vision of this was just great. I know I'm a nobody to Bethesda, but I'm going to say it out loud anyways. Great job. Absolutely great job.
Yeah, fantastic.
This was smart. This was adhering to your customer. You didn't break my wallet, although not very many things can make me just blindly swipe the card, man, and this did it. Mm-hmm. I literally pulled out the phone, didn't even look at my bank account first, and just sent it. I just put it in and started playing.
When he's
knowing full well I was going to play Clair Obscura first, and I still went for it.
How did you guys feel when you heard Sean Bean talking in Oblivion? Did that bring you back? That just I don't know. That just brought me back. I literally I don't know.
I'm so, and I actually think Bethesda being, amazingly smart. Say they sell 20, 30 million copies of this at $50 is way better than this.
But still.
Well, I think they might.
Never say never. I think this caps out at about 7 million.
I think it smokes that, dude. I really
you think
do.
So?
I do, because you've got more platforms now. They released on
True.
everything. You don't have to be loyal to green or blue. You can literally buy it on whatever you've got. I think that they've priced it at
10
a
million.
good point.
What? Oh no, sorry, that's the original. That's OG. Okay, never
The
mind.
original,
OG.
I think, sold what, 13 million,
Yeah,
something like that.
I
Yeah,
think total something like that. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. No, I think I think they priced it smart. More people will buy it. I think that just that whole gaming without barriers, whatever you're on, and you're talking worldwide, you're gonna have, dads or older brothers now going, "Oh my god, that game's there." Buy it, and then you're gonna have the younger generation be like, "What's Big Bro playing?" I'm like, cool. And mom and dad go and buy that again. I think there's gonna be, I think it's gonna smoke the OG reckon the numbers.
I think, I think it's impressive to show that Oblivion's not Elder Scrolls at its oldest, obviously.
No.
But
Right.
Oblivion was definitely, and I was wondering when I was reading the rumors, I was like, is Oblivion too old now that this is only going to scratch, the itch for a very particular generation? And I was like, even if that is true, you still got a couple million players, and I think that will eat this up, because for a lot of people, Oblivion was a masterpiece of the older generation. It's in the top 10s of a lot of people's 7th generation of console list. So, but it exceeded my expectations beyond belief, and I think the shock and awe of the shadow drop, and then to be like, and I agree with you. I think the Big Brother concept is super smart. In terms of, I guess it's a little older than that now. It's more like, hey, Dad, what are you playing?
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like, hey, when I was your age, this was the shit.
Yeah.
And now they've put a nice coat of paint on it and increased the art value to a degree that was so unexpected, by the way.
Right.
During the rumors, I was like, oh, they'll do a touch of paint. Like, this will be cool. We'll get to play Oblivion again. No, dude, this is on par. It's honestly up there with like Kingdom Come Deliverance in terms of its feel and its art style. So it's like it's doing really well as like a next gen feel. So I'm super impressed.
Yeah, I'm incredibly impressed with Bethesda. Like I feel like they went back to the drawing board after Starfield, and were like, okay, what are we gonna do? And I think they're just crushing it right now, which is good. I love that, because I kind of felt like they took a dip. Fallout 76 wasn't that great, and now they're coming back swinging, and they're doing smart things with it.
Todd Howard's not a dumb man. He's been in this game a long time. He was making games in the 90s, and when he came out with Morrowind, his first go around, like he's done good things, and Bethesda's grown as a studio immensely. Bethesda is probably Xbox's biggest game studio in terms of longevity, outside of maybe Blizzard now that they own it. But I think they could continue to do this if they don't overplay their hand. I personally would rather see a New Vegas than Fallout 3, but I will be just as happy for Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I think if they do Fallout 3, which is probably more on par for legal reasons, I'd have to see what Obsidian has a hand in that. Because if they get Virtuous and they own the property, I'm wondering if they could just do it whether Obsidian likes it or not. And I think Obsidian wouldn't care. They're doing really good with their marketing for Outer Worlds 2 right now. And because that looks great. That's a Fallout successor looking thing that I want to, because the first Outer Worlds wasn't bad. So I think if Bethesda keeps down this track, but don't take too long. I think that's my only thing, is like, this is why I hunch for 2027, because if it's not 2027, now we're starting to get into a dangerous territory of like, I don't care how good Elder Scrolls 6 is, the gaming industry cannot do this.
It'll get forgotten a little bit.
It's got to stop. There's a lot of conversation in the gaming industry right now on if AAA games are actually worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and dying in more of a productive way, where it's like, because like,
I'm getting to that point. Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm having amazing experiences with independent games.
Yeah.
Expedition 33 right now is insane that this is an independent studio's first game. It's
Right.
baffling, right?
I mean, just imagine somebody playing. Just imagine someone who played Morrowind. Actually, yeah, perfect example. Perfect example. Imagine someone who played Morrowind when they were 25 years old, just out of college. They loved it. They loved Oblivion when it came out. They loved Skyrim and whatnot. Now it's been 20 something years since they played, Oblivion and everything. Now they're pushing 60, and it's like
That's crazy.
and it's like or
Yeah.
yeah, 50, yeah, they're pushing their mid 50s, and
Yeah.
it's like you expect me to wait for so long to play the next game. Like, at a certain point now it's going to be like, oh, I played this game and my life will be not over, but
Right.
it would be like pretty much, it would be my next generation of life, my next chapter in life by the time I play the sequel. What the hell?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's way too extensive of a time. I personally believe this is the last Elder Scrolls. I do think 6
so,
is, because Todd Howard has already said he's at the back end of his career.
Yeah.
I don't think he sticks around for Fallout 5. I think this is Todd Howard's send-off, because Starfield was his baby that he really wanted it to be his big baby, and it just wasn't. He wanted to branch away from Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and he just can't seem to do that. But I genuinely think Elder Scrolls 6 is Elder Scrolls' last game, and I think it's Todd Howard's last hurrah. And I don't think that's a bad thing, dude. He's been making video games for like 30 plus years, dude. Like, retire. You got plenty of money. You got family. Do what you got to do.
Right.
But in terms of big projects, I could see him doing this his last thing. And people like him and Neil Druckmann have made small comments of like doing smaller projects. I know Neil Druckmann had talked about doing smaller projects after Intergalactic, and I'm actually okay with that. Like, I think a lot of these old cats should go back to their old style of like, games don't need to be this long and development doesn't need to be in hell. Find a good art style, make sure the game runs. And I really do think people need to take note of Oblivion Remake and Expedition 33 right now, who are the two competitions who are doing really well. People need to take note because both of these games run perfectly. They run great. I'm having zero issues with Oblivion, and I'm having zero issues with Expedition 33. Now, I say zero issues. I know some people are like super picky about their fidelity and things like that, but in all, other than a frame drop,
19-year-old game, like, come on.
Well, other than a frame drop once in a blue moon, both of these games are killing it. They're running great. I'm not having day one patch. I'm not having conversations. Like, they are running to the best of their ability, and I'm not having issues with it. So these are definitely things that people should take note of and should really see where the gaming industry is going as a whole. And I think Oblivion is a perfect example of going back to some of the old formula.
I agree. I think it's a good temperature take of where gamers are right now.
100%.
I really hope that a lot more studios kind of take that into consideration as they move forward with creating more and more games. That we yearn for a time where we didn't have to worry about all this other crazy extra stuff. Just give us entertaining stories to take part in and take charge in and all that stuff. Yeah. Also, by the way, Expedition 33, I just looked it up, sold 500,000 copies in one day. On the same week. This is the same week, right? It just came out.
2 days. 2 days after Oblivion.
2 days after Oblivion. Think about that. That's crazy.
I will tell you right now, I wish I could. It's so hard to give it a lot of oomph because I'm only 2.5 hours in. Right. But when I tell you that 2.5 hours was an incredible experience, like, I am blown away on how well. And this is my point, right? To keep it in the topic of Oblivion and Claire Expedition 33. the 3 best games I've played this year that are my front runners for game of the year. Well, 2 of them are front runners of game of the year. I wouldn't put Oblivion in there. I don't think that's okay. I've already had that discussion. As great as it is, it cannot be game of the year, in my opinion. Win something at the Game Awards? Sure.
Yeah.
Make an award for best shadow drop. But the 3 best experiences I've had this year are all $20 under gaming asking price, and they are made by studios who are not driven by shareholders, who are not held by the balls by their publishers. The 3 best experiences I have had this year, which should have a note, is Split Fiction. Hazelight Studios is amazing. I think Joseph Fares needs to keep doing what he's doing and keep making his price point key, because that's impressive. It's only a $50 game, and you're getting an amazing experience. And an old style experience with a much new flair of unique flavor, I should say. Like, there's unique gameplay aspects in Hazelight Studio games that keep them afloat, right? The second best experience, obviously, so far is Oblivion, as we're talking about. I know that's not a now thing, but at the same time, it shows character, and it shows that Bethesda knows what they're doing in terms of their audience, at least for now. And then the third best experience of the year, and probably what I anticipate to be my all-time favorite experience of the year, and probably one of my best experiences in the last 5 years or so, Expedition 33. And all 3 of those experiences are less than $70, and they're significantly less than $70. And 2 of them are made by small studios with nothing but passion. So I think the gaming industry is about to take a huge shift.
Shift for the better.
I think so. I don't think the gaming industry is dying. I really don't. There's been too many great experiences. I mean, Kingdom Come Deliverance, another small studio making things happen. So that's my final take. I think Oblivion is more an example of the old way is kind of making its way back in, and it's doing things for the better. As well as these other independent studios who are making experiences that are so memorable that AAA needs to watch out, I think.
You said something that I kind of wanted to ask one last question for. You said that you don't you don't think that Oblivion should as good as it is, should win Game of the Year, which I agree with. Do you also agree that if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year, that it should not win Game of the Year?
Only if it comes out after October, after the window. Indiana Jones is on the slot for this year because it came out after the window for the Game Awards. So if it comes out in December, no, it'll be Game of the Year 2026.
Well, the thing is, like,
do I think it shouldn't be Game of the Year?
Yeah, like I was talking to somebody at work, and he had like kind of a good thing to say, or like an interesting take that I was just kind of thinking on. I just want to think about, like, let's say you have a glass of water, right? And there's a bunch of people who are very, very thirsty, and you're just like, nah, I'm just gonna give this glass of water to the ocean. It's like, why shouldn't Expedition 33? Well, let's say that's the best game besides Grand Theft Auto, or maybe not, maybe it's a better game than Grand Theft Auto 6, because what if Grand Theft Auto 6 suffers from a lot of the stuff that's been plaguing the gaming community for the last 10 years, right? So let's say that happens. Doesn't mean that it's not going to sell like hotcakes. Doesn't mean it's not going to be one of the best-selling games of all time. Doesn't mean like it's not going to still be a very beloved game, because no matter what, I will imagine that Rockstar has done their homework and has done, especially with what they did with Grand Theft Auto 5 and with Red Dead Redemption 2. I can imagine that this will be a sequel that is to the soul of those 2 games. However, should it win Game of the Year just because of that? Even if it doesn't hold up to the standards that Red Dead Redemption 2 or Grand Theft Auto 5 does? And should it win over smaller games that are objectively better.
To take your question literally to a T,
Yeah.
with every word you just said, no,
Yeah.
it should not. However, my thought process of Game of the Year, and you know what, I can't believe I'm saying this because I think this is going to be a larger tangent. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, and we're going to have a sidebar conversation about it, because this was about Oblivion.
You're right. Sorry.
However, I don't think it should win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. I think it is one of the Game of the Years. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it, even though it's an old game, it's one of the best experiences of the year. So to say that, if I had to conclude this video with anything, it is that go buy Oblivion. I think that's well worth your money. If you've never played Oblivion before, it's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And this was the best way it could have happened, I think. Yeah. Period. So if that's the case, then I am me.
And that's me.
Okay, good.
That's me.
Well, thank you. And Brewing with Company is going to go ahead and stay caffeinated and then talk for another hour off camera.
Like we normally do.
Yeah, stay caffeinated.